Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight on my Saturday Night Live. Yes, I've been advertising this for a while. I'm going to be honest, I think those that are my regular subscribers probably know that I have been restricted for far too long on this channel, and I wasn't able to have that nice upper lift sort of smile, and now we are moving forward. So thank you to those who have joined the channel. Thank you to the new people that are watching tonight. And thank you mostly to my fellow YouTube creators, who I have many that I chat to on a daily basis, and my members in the channel. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Just to let you know that over the last, I think, week, I have been chatting to dozens and dozens of people that are going to be guests coming on to my YouTube channel. A lot of people are intrigued about the guests I've got coming on the 29th of September at 7 p.m. live. You can ask that individual questions about what they have done, what they are doing, and their forthcoming novel, which is going to be a massive hit, which I know that the awesome writer Damian Lewis is keeping an eye on at the minute, and other people. Anyway, I've got a few things lined up tonight. I'm going to be giving away something tonight to how many will I give away? I'll give a couple away. Anyway, right. So I've got a little format, so bear with me. The old paratroopers in tonight, the old paratrooper podcast. I am going to be giving shout outs to the likes of the old paratrooper podcast, who is a fellow veteran, airborne warrior. He has his own YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, why not? It's free. Right, people, I've been very fortunate over the last, I think, 2 months to have, I wouldn't say sponsorships, but people that support what I'm doing, especially on YouTube and on social media. One of them, who I'm going to say a big thank you to, is to Pagoda, who kindly gave me the watch, which I can now show you on my live feeds. And hopefully, they are a great watch. When I was on holiday, actually, doing something with filming, I nervously jumped into the swimming pool with it on. I know it's waterproof, clearly, but when you have an expensive watch, you don't want to just jump in. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's great. So there we go. And I have to say a big shout out and thank you to GHQ Spirits, wrong side, GHQ Spirits, to have donated me those bottles during the likes of the Remembrance for D-Day, the anniversary. So yeah, I haven't touched them because I don't want to touch them. I'm a little bit scared that if I drink them, I'll never get the bottles replaced. They're a collector's item and they're going to stay there. And pass me. Yep. The wonderful Soldier Owned Coffee, which is a veteran-owned coffee brand based in Belfast. Yes, so there. Thank you to them for that. Right. I've been looking at different things. People have sent me messages what they want me to discuss, and I've been going through a few things. Now, I get sent things every day. I've got books here which I've been sent, and I'm not going to discuss them yet, honestly, because there's other things that I would like to let you know. I have been looking and doing research on a few things. Now, here's a few things which are just crazy. When I'm out with certain individuals at restaurants, people order avocado and stuff. Now, I was always under the impression that an avocado was a vegetable. Did you think that?
Yeah.
An avocado is actually a fruit. Did you know that? So there's something to take away from this live. Yes. And another thing, did you know that a shrimp's heart is in its head? Didn't know that either. Thank you to my friends who sent me this information. It's just crazy. And did you know that snails have between 1,000 and 12,000 teeth? Did you know that? No, of course you didn't. Neither did I. I mean, I've been sent some crazy stuff. Horses can't breathe through their mouths. Venus is the only planet that spins backwards and stuff. Anyway, there we go. Right. Now, I've got my notes here. But I have been looking at quite a few things online leading up to here. And I am always one. Am I one for controversy? No, I don't think I'm controversial. Possibly. I will argue someone's point to the death. I will argue for your right to criticize me I will argue for your right to do that. But what I don't like is when things become hateful. But I'm just saying, I'll argue for your right. Now, there's one thing that has stuck in my mind for quite some time. And it is something which is on our minds, and that is the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Now, as you know, I was one of her loyal subjects, and many of you were, especially the old paratrooper there, and there's a few veterans in the chat there. Now, many people, did you know that there has been many polls? I don't mean Polish, I mean like a poll, like a vote. There's been many polls up and down the country since the passing of Queen Elizabeth II to find out what the people wanted, to find out where, if any, should a memorial be erected for Her Majesty. Now, people said in the grounds of Windsor, which not many people can get to. Now, as we know, the Queen was renowned for Buckingham Palace. The world sees Buckingham Palace, they see the balcony, but there wouldn't be anywhere for the people to go and pay respects there. So they have actually decided that there is going to be a memorial. There is going to be a statue erected. The statue is going to be erected in St. James's Park, which is in London, so everyone can go and pay respects. Now, the date of this, I believe, I found out about an hour ago, the date of this is going to be next year, 2025. Right now, there's 3 designs on the go, and people are looking into the designs, and whichever sculptor comes up with the best design, they're down to 3. Whoever comes up with the best design is going to have it erected. And the best design will be down to the public. Believe it or not, when the 3 designs are done and they're put out, they're going to be voted for online. So the public are going to vote for which design they think is the best. And that is came, believe it or not, from King Charles himself. He wants to leave it up to the public to decide which of these is going to be erected. And I think it's a fantastic idea, actually. Yeah, so the 3 sculptors, I'm not going to mention them yet because it could change. Could be down to 2. Anyway, so there we go. Someone has said in the chat there, now this morning I mentioned to you about my son going fishing. I mentioned about the bait. And many of you said to me, well, Sebastian should have checked. I get that. I get that. Look at his face. He's looking at me all bad now. Listen, my son checks 99.9 things. He does. He's learned from his mum and his dad. But as we move forward, as he gets older, things may change massively. But anyway, I've had loads of comments today about that.
You literally packed my stuff. I was out playing football and you packed it.
That's not the point. You should have checked. I packed it, but he should have checked. I'm just saying, people, you know, plan and preparation prevents piss poor performance. Right, here we go. Anyway, let's look in the chat for a minute. Oh, KC Imageworks, my good friend Kev for many years. Believe it or not, for those that don't know, KC Imageworks has his own YouTube channel and it's doing quite well, but he could do with your help to boost it. And I sent you a message earlier on, Kev. I know you responded. We'll work out a date and we'll do something on the channel. We'll have fun and we'll what I've been trying to do, and I think you know this anyway, over the last, I think, year or 2 years, I've been trying to get together a brilliant community which works together, which promotes each other and lifts each other up on this platform because there's enough room for everyone. I know. Right, what else am I going to talk about now? Oh, I've got down here on my page the Balmoral Summit. Now, many of you have said that Balmoral Summit is going to be something where they discuss the future of the monarchy, possibility. But I've learned recently, believe it or not, King Charles's own royal medical team will be attending the Balmoral Summit and they will be staying there to discuss the future of his health and his daughter-in-law's health. Yes, no other member of the royal family's PR team have actually stayed at Balmoral and been able to be wined and dined there, as they say, apart from the medical team. It's quite clear that King Charles holds his personal medical team on a really high standard and he is willing to let them stay there where they will chat, they will enjoy walks and they'll get to know each other a little bit better. So that's great news. But it's also sad though, because it makes me think that maybe King Charles's medical condition could be worse than we already know, if the medical teams are having to follow him around and stay with him. But anyway, let me know in the chat what you think about that. Oh, Betty, Finland, welcome. Oh, we've Norway, we've Denmark, we've Canada. It's great to have you here. Right, so I've done that. Now, there's one thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm hoping that we have a guest coming in a couple of minutes' time. But before we do that, oh, okay, Grumpy Sampers, goodbye. I have been pushing things lately, and I think you've been part of it. I made a video not that long ago because one of you subscribers sent me a lovely message about a clothing company based in Brixton, London, called Brixton Streetwear. I looked into it. I actually like the clothing. It's pretty impressive clothing. But then I found out that a big company from the US was putting pressure on Brixton Streetwear and were threatening to sue Brixton Streetwear. I read up, I went in, they have a GoFundMe, and I read into it, and I thought, this is a bit strange. Brixton Streetwear, why do they want to sue them? Because they're using the word Brixton. Anyway, I, with your help, promoted their GoFundMe. Whenever I first got it, there was about 700 people, sorry, £700 in the pot. We promoted it on our channel, and right now I'm happy to say that their GoFundMe has got about £8,500 in it. So thanks to every one of you. Thank you. Right. Books. Now, if you don't know, I'm sure you are fully aware that I have become very good friends over the last several years with one of the UK and the world's iconic British athletes, former world record holder and world champion, Fatima Whitbread, who is probably, in my view, and I've looked at this, the UK's most outspoken person when it comes to looking after the welfare of children. She has Fatima's campaign. It's every day. She's relentless. She's out doing fitness every day. She's promoting it. Well, she's written a children's book. Now, I actually sent off to buy this children's book about maybe just over a month ago. She showed me it back in July. And her book is now available for pre-order on Amazon. And there's no better person to come on and talk about that book than Fatima Whitbread herself. Hi, Fatima.
Hi, Trevor. How are you? It's lovely to see you again. Lovely to be speaking to you. Thank you for allowing me to share your platform.
Well, do you know what? My platform's only there because of good people like you help it grow. I spoke.
Here it is.
Oh, there's it there. You know what? I haven't read it because it's not available in the shops yet, but it's for pre-order,
No.
isn't it?
It is. It's a pre-order. It's called My Bright Shining Star, and it's about a young Fatima in the care system, and the bright shining star being my role model in Auntie Ray. As many people probably realise, I mean, I was abandoned as a baby. Some would say left to die. So I unfortunately, a neighbour heard a baby crying for a couple of days. Hadn't seen somebody coming or going to the flat, so they called the police, who banged the door down, rescued a baby, which was myself. Then I spent the next 14 years in children's homes, in institutions. And so my ministry today is all about Fatima's UK campaign, as we know. So yeah. That's my ministry today. And what that is to do is to try and improve the life outcomes for our young children in the care system. The care system, in many respects, the children's care system is broken. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but they're all working in silos, and there's no collaboration or partnerships. And part of what I do is to bring the collaboration and partnerships together in order to improve the life outcomes for young children. But more importantly is I use my lived experience, Trevor, and my Olympic platform to try and build that awareness to a wider audience, for them to understand what these young children and young people go through, and the importance of trying to, because every child, I believe, deserves a safe and happy childhood. And through my book, and this is all proceeds going to children, the Fatima's UK campaign, it's to enable these young people to have better life choices and chances, and that's the power of sport, or the power of arts, or the power of technology. There are programs that we put together, and we try to put them on a human, non-stoppable path to reaching their goals. I mean, I was one of the lucky ones. I was fostered at the age of 14 by my mother, now Margaret Whitbread, and she was my the PE teacher, and through sport I met the love of the Whitbreads. And so my ministry today is to, as I say, try and rejuvenate the care system by bringing a summit next year, which is April the 23rd and 24th, and it will be held in London, bringing the 4 nations together over a 2-day period. And it's all about sharing good practice and knowledge so that our young people can be seen, heard and valued, because for far too long they've been invisible. And what we're trying to do now, and Fatima's UK campaign, is to put children first, because they're our futures, you know. I mean, who and what they become, giving them the, you know, obviously early intervention will decide, and you know, how, what society ends up. You know, it's really important that we give them the chance to actually live a purposeful life, an independent life, especially when they become young adults at 18. I mean, obviously, that's, in my view, that's far too young to go independent living. And that's another thing we'll be doing, is making, you know, change in trying to implement, you know, policy and influence decision makers to make change for these young people, which, you know, I think is so important, because 33% of these young care leavers, when they go independent living, they struggle to be able to, they don't have bank of mum and dad, or aunts and uncles, nans and granddads, and within 2 years, Trevor, they end up homeless. And you'd know all about what homelessness is about, because you're an advocate for homelessness as well, like I'm an advocate for children. So if you invest in this book, Trev, right,
Yep.
you'll be helping those young children. And you can go online. You can go online. It's pre-orders. You know, quarter.
Well,
you know.
after this chat, Fatima, I am going to put the link of that book into the description of this video. I am hoping that my wonderful subscribers and members can purchase a copy on pre-order online, and we can help your book get to #1. Because if it gets to #1 in the bestsellers list, then you're going to be able to help a lot more kids. And it's, you know what, it's humbling, the hard work you do every day. And I am going to tell people this: there's not a single day not a single day has went past in the last 2 or 3 years where I haven't received a message for you first thing in the morning, because you're straight out the door trying to support children. And you know what? It's just amazing. And I think, and everyone thinks that you're just awesome. And
Trevor, I've got some more news to share with you. Obviously, I mean, clearly, I mean, I've been working with ministers. We're non-political, so it's cross-party support that we need. And I've been very fortunate to be able to have met a large number of people that are, in the main, 95% of them have been very supportive and want to, you know, the stakeholders are going to come to the summit, and they need to, you know, to support it, because it's about history changing the children's care system to improve it. Because like any business, I mean, you have to benchmark it, and you have to monitor it and make sure that, you know, it's serving the purpose it should do, and it's not currently as we speak. So we will also hold people to account for what they say and what they should be doing as well, because we've got good support. And collaboratively, what we want to do is bring a pledge together so that each community will work in partnership together. So the social workers, the schools, you know, the corporate parenting. We're talking about young children here. 27% of them, by the time they're 14, they have mental health issues. They struggle. They don't, most of them, like conventional children, as I said to you, don't have that support, you know, and they struggle because they're traumatized. So, you know, academically, they struggle with their work too. And we need to look to put a safety net around them, you know, a construct, so that the schools, the teachers are obviously talking to the social workers, the carers, the local departments, the children's departments. They're all working together so they know what's going on out there, you know, with that one child in the community itself. So I always say, what do you want? A fence at the top of the cliff or an ambulance at the bottom? It's really important that these young people feel secure, that, you know, that they have somebody that they just gets them. And Auntie Ray was that person in my life. And I'll just tell you a little funny story. I always knew when Auntie Ray was coming on duty, I used to love to hide under the bed sheets, and I would never get up until I called her the tickle monster, because she would always wake me by tickling me. And it's just as well she did. I'll probably still be there now, Trevor, you know.
Yeah.
She was a wonderful lady. We all knew that Auntie Ray just understood us and got us. Now, next week I'm actually, and you can help me now if people want to help. You don't have to wait just to buy the book.
Okay.
Go online, fatimascampaign.com. I'm doing the Pyrenees Challenge next week. I'm from Bay of Biscay to Spain, so that's from France, walk to Spain and back. And that's, you know, that's going to take quite a bit of time. So I'm doing a section of that, 100 kilometers. So please go online, fatimascampaign.com, and support me to help me make a difference to those young people's lives.
Do you know, well, of course, and I hope everyone does. There's a lot of people in the chat. A lot of people have a lot of love for you. There's quite a few good YouTubers in the chat that are watching you with great... but your campaign's awesome. I've seen you everywhere. I have seen you everywhere. The one thing I would like to know is, reference your campaign, your charity, which is up and running now. Have you been able to tap in yet to any government funding or grants to help you on your journey?
No, I mean,
Wow.
I work a full-time job in order to, and it's all part of what I do. It's all wrapped up in the same area, and children in the care system. So I do keynote speaking, and I'll travel the depth and breadth of the country. I'll speak to social workers, schools, all the virtual heads of schools. I'll go to Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow I've got coming up. And I'll talk at keynote events with corporate companies like Markel, Wilson James, and many more. And I fund my project because, let's face it, it's really hard. There's a lot of charities out there all fighting for the same funding. So it's really difficult. Now, I struggle to get funding. Can you imagine what a care leaver at 18, it's virtually impossible for them to get funding, you know, for them to survive. And when we say go independent living, what happens is the government, Trevor, they give them £3,000, and over a 2-year period, they give them 3 visits only to see if they're all right. How on earth can that child, that young adult, without the bank of mum and dad or nans and granddads to support them, it's no wonder they end up homeless. And we know that local authorities weekly have an increase of children coming into the care system, and there's currently over 110,000 children that's in the care system. We have about 800,000 families living on the food bank, and there's 4.2 million people living in poverty as we speak, and we're supposed to be the 5th biggest economy in the world. What does that say to you? There's something not right there. And I am truly a believer also that in this day and age, nobody should be sleeping on the streets. You know, I mean, it's terrible, awful situation. We're just coming to the end of our summer, and looking, you know, as I've been going, like everybody, when you travel around, you see the homelessness. It's awful. The winter's approach, and you think, my God, how do they survive? Just take your bag out one night and sleep in the tent, or not even in the tent, in the garden, and see what it feels like, you know. And these poor people that they're sleeping out homeless day in, day out, and most of them have been quite successful in their time. Now, just through a little bit of bad luck, or while we're all just one step away from finding ourselves in that situation, you know, if a loved one in our family who's the breadwinner sadly dies, then yes, I mean, children could be taken into care, or young people end up homeless because they've no longer, you know, part of the home's been taken away. It's frightening, really, Trevor, and we really need to start looking at working collaboratively and pulling these organisations, stakeholders together, and putting in private funding. A lot of ask yourself, I mean, most of these companies, some of the bigger companies, I've been trying to get aboard to try and skill up so employability for our young people, putting our youngsters on that path to employment in order for them to be able to live properly an independent life, so that eventually they get to break that cycle and can stand up on their feet independently. And when they do have a family, you know, history's not going to repeat itself. You know, we have a moral and ethical responsibility, really, to try and do what we can. It's not just the government's job. I think all of us could do well to look after one another, or try to ask ourselves, what more can we do?
I agree with you 100%. I was listening to every word you were saying there. There is a lot that we can do. One thing is, first of all, support Fatima's campaign, right? That's one. The second thing is buy your book on pre-order. And the third thing is, there's other YouTubers here with big platforms in the chat. So once Fatima's been on tonight and we've had a chat, ladies and gents, if you're in the chat and you've got a big YouTube channel, your YouTube channel is growing, get in touch with me. We can get Fatima onto your channel, and you can get your subscribers to buy our book, and we can keep working together.
And I'm a registered charity as well, so we are registered. So if you've got YouTubers that have got good companies and they've got a bit of cash flow, they need to put it. We get tax, you know, rebate. They would get tax reduction, you know, and as a charity, registered charity, that's greatly, you know, helpful to companies. So not only do I just do my challenges, which is Just Giving page on my website, it's also there's a, you know, you can do crowdfunding. You can actually go online, see what it is that you can support with. You know, we have programs for our young kids as well. Most of these programs our young children do is £20 a session. And for a child to be engaged and kept off the streets, out of harm's way, because a lot of them do get exploited, they get groomed, targeted, and our young girls get obviously abused. They're very vulnerable. But these programs, for £1,000 for per child per year, that gives them a chance to work in a safe haven, build up the social networks within their communities, and enables them to have good role models, and at the end of them, skill them up where they can actually have jobs. It's worked well. We do with Essex Cricket County, from East Anglia to East London. I work with the safeguarding team for West Ham and Arsenal. I also do the England Football League Trust, the 72 boroughs up and down the country, which is, you know, again, you know, huge areas, all these boroughs that have these young children. In London alone, we have about 20,000 young children. So you can imagine it can be, you know, very expensive to do, but at the same, it's very doable, and it's really important that we do, because just think about that. I mean, you know, the thousands of pounds, indirectly that we're saving, you know, the taxpayers' money. If unfortunately that these young people that don't have programs, they get exploited, they get groomed, and they end up in crime. And 28% of these young people, under 21-year-olds, end up in the prisons, which are in the prisons system as we speak, have either come from the care system or crossed the path of the care system. And one of the programs that we do is what we call out the gate programs, where I'm working with the Minister for Prisons, and James Timpson, part of the Timpson's shops. Now, he is one of the collaborations that we have. Also, Bridget Phillipson on the education side as well, education programs that we got in. I'm also collaborating with Banksy's with the arts side as well. So Banksy's been really supportive about his artwork, and we're seeing where we can go with that. There's tremendous amount of support out there, which should be, you know, for our young people and our children, but actually funding is the hardest bit, and everybody knows that tries to raise funds, you know, will appreciate where I'm coming from. But please, if you are thinking about supporting me, fatimascampaign.com. We are registered, and yeah, would love to any least little will help, Trevor.
Well, do you know what? As I said, we're going to get things starting to move. I'm really honoured that you came on to my first little show. Thank you very much. I was so excited whenever you said yeah, and is it Kate? Kate, the lady that works with you, should I say, or works for you, should I say? I mean, she was trying to get a book, but they're hard to come by at the minute because they're in early stages. But as I said, they're available to pre-order. I've ordered one, and I'm looking forward to putting it on my shelf after I've read it, clearly. And I'm really, really hoping that we can help it get to #1, and you can help as many kids as possible. Fatima.
Yes, a lovely read. You won't be disappointed. $7.99. It's October 24th when it comes out. You can pre-order, as I say, on Amazon. It's by Quarto Books Publishers, and as I said, it's called My Bright Shining Star, and the illustrations are by Rianne Wright. They're beautiful. It's actually a lovely book, and I'm really proud of it. And as I say, it all goes to children, and that's the wonderful thing. And it helps people to understand what these children go through. Possibly think about opening your heart and your home to giving these young children a loving, secure home. But if not, you know, obviously understanding it's a book also for children that come in the care system that will understand what's happening, you know, to them, because often they get frightened, you know, to think why, you know, because they end up in care through no fault of their own, and it's a frightening experience.
Well, so, I can see by the chat that your book is being pre-ordered by quite a few people at the minute, so that's brilliant news. So I'm really pleased.
Brilliant.
Well, Fatima, it is a Saturday night. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm going to say thank you very much for coming on. I'm going to end all my shows hopefully with an outstanding guest, but we're going to have to dig deep to top this one, right? But thank you.
Listen, I want to say thank you to you, because you're doing brilliant work, and I've watched you for a long time now, like you watch me, and all I can say is God bless you for the work that you do. All right, and I love you very much, Trevor. You keep going strong, my friend.
Thank you. Take care and have a great night, Fatima.
Yeah,
bye.
Thank you. God bless. Have a good
Bye.
rest of the weekend, all of you.
Well, people, that was awesome, wasn't it? Imagine having former world record holder and world champion Fatima coming on to talk about her campaign, fatimascampaign.com, and what she's doing to try and raise awareness for children and to give them a better future. The book's out for pre-order, and I hope you do it. I will put a link in the description. I'm going to end it now, but before I go, I'm just going to look on my screen, and I'm going to pick Chrissy Richards and Steph Ward. In fact, no, Chrissy Richards, Steph Ward, and Moogle1. All three of you, please send an email to me at trevorcoldmc@hotmail.co.uk. Send me your address, and I'm going to send you all one of my mugs, and you can have this for your morning coffees or tea, should I say. But listen, thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for everyone that's in the chat. It's been fantastic. The three people that I said, please remember to send me an email, because I will not remember to send out the cups unless you do it. But thank you. Have a wonderful evening, people, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on my normal daily rant. And I will see you next Saturday at 7 p.m. and hopefully I will have another awesome guest. Take care, people, and stay safe.